Hello, everybody. I am Hope Maxwell, and I am the founder of Spring Yoga in Spring, Texas. And I wanted to bring you guys a video about you're a beginner and you want to start yoga, but you have a few questions about what it entails to be a yoga student, and maybe you're a little apprehensive and have some fears about what can happen in a yoga class, or maybe about what yoga is. Maybe you don't even know what yoga is. So this video is to give you a little bit of information about some tips that will allow you to go to a class and kind of know what's going to happen when you get there. First of all, I want to explain to you that yoga is probably one of the movements that you can do till the day that you die. It is can be very easy, or it can be very hard. It depends on the type of yoga that you decide to use, or to go classes that you go to. What the main purpose of yoga is to yoke the body, the mind, and the spirit, the breath and the body. And if you don't know how to do that, you don't have to, because when you start a class, you just start moving and breathing, and magic happens. There's many, many benefits to yoga, and there's a long list of benefits, and I'm not going to say it's a heal-all, because obviously if you have a medical condition or something like that, you need to consult with your doctor, especially if you're coming back from an injury. If you have really high blood pressure, or there's some issues going on in your physical body that you need to take care of, maybe you just have a conversation with your doctor and see if, yoga can be, you can take it easy with maybe a yin yoga class or a restorative class you might start off with. And they can maybe tell you maybe there's some poses that you need to avoid, things like that. But yoga is not scary. It's not religious. It's a spiritual practice. So hopefully you know the difference between religious and spiritual. The whole purpose and meaning behind yoga is to liberate a person, to make a person feel free within their life. And it can go very, very deep, depending on how you're wanting to go about your practice. Or you can just start as a physical practice. A lot of people come to yoga because they just need to stretch their body. And then they start realizing the benefits of it, and they're like, oh, this feels really good in my body, so I want to do this every day. And your body begins to crave it. So let me back up just a little bit. So our bodies has connective tissue that gets very tight in our bodies, kind of like a web, and it forms around our organs, our muscles. And if you create shapes in your body daily, like say you're a person who sits at a desk, and so you have a forward head position, and then your shoulders are rotated inward. So if you're doing this for 8 hours a day, you're obviously going to have chest, neck issues, maybe headaches, migraines. There's a whole host of problems that can happen from that. So depending on your job and depending on your what shapes you put your body in on a daily basis and the amount of hours that you do that, your body begins to form. And this connective tissue, this fascia, will just tighten over time. And so what yoga does is it kind of melts the fascia, also scar tissue. It helps to work scar tissue out, and allows the body to feel looser, and you'll gain flexibility. So the main thing I hear from people tell me all the time is that I'm not flexible enough for yoga. You become more flexible whenever you do yoga. You're not already flexible and then going to go do a yoga class. So that should not even be a question. The second thing is the religious thing. So there's a lot of questions about chanting and mantra. There's a lot of words that you may not understand. Just like anything that you do, there's going to be deeper practices within that practice, and there's different genres. So yoga came from like three main genres or styles or forms of yoga. And then as it came into the Western world, we created all these other little subgenres of yoga. So I encourage you to go have a conversation with the owner of the studio or the teacher that you're going to take a class from, because that's going to tell you the style, and it's honestly going to let you know if you have a connection with that teacher, and you're going to feel good when you take that class. And then you can also discuss if you do have medical issues or questions, you can ask that teacher to explain or give you modifications in that class. So that being said, just do a little bit of research and take out the questions that you have about the kind of classes that you're going to take. I'm going to give you a few tips. So first of all, if you're going to go into a class, I suggest that you don't eat 2 hours prior to the class. If you're going to eat a really, really heavy meal, I would suggest not eating 4 hours before you go. Because some of the postures and the movements that you make are going to squeeze the stomach, and it's going to cause discomfort, and we don't want that to happen. Or you don't want to feel like you're going to throw up or something like that. So just give yourself time to digest food, and that'll help you not have an uncomfortable class. That being said, with the digestion, there's going to be the farting question always comes up. So it happens in class, and people usually just ignore it or laugh, and then it goes away. It's not a big deal. So I wouldn't even worry about that. So for guys and girls, there's more guys that are starting to do yoga as people learn more about what yoga is about. It's such a good thing to do for your body and your mind that, these guys are going, and it's just becoming more masculine, and it's a great form of exercise. And I have people who are traditional, Texas service workers and, guys that you wouldn't normally think do yoga that do yoga. And there's no, it's for men and for women. It shouldn't even be a question. Now, if you're going to go into a class strictly look at everybody wearing yoga pants, then I would say don't go to the class, because that's just disrespectful. But if you're going there to actually get something out of it for your body, then, it's going to be there for you. So dress, how do I dress when I go to a yoga class? So obviously yoga pants, they don't have to be yoga pants. They can be some kind of pants that you want to feel comfortable in. As far as the shirt go, a sports bra or a nice comfortable bra if you're a female, and a shirt that when you bend over, all your goods aren't going to spill out, just for your own comfort. Shorts, anything you're going to wear to exercise in, honestly. There's no particular thing that you have to wear. Equipment. Do I need to have my own yoga mat? That depends on the studio that you go to. A lot of studios either have mat rentals, or, people are funny about MRSA and, staph infection and weird germs and the cleanliness of the studio. So I always suggest to people just to get their own mat, and it doesn't have to be an expensive one. It can be something cheap at first. It can be something I do suggest, though, for mats. A lot of times people want to get the thicker mats because they feel like they're going to be more comfortable. But sometimes in the standing poses, those affect your balance. So just be careful about those. You can buy a Mexican blanket or some type of fleece blanket or something to put under your knees if you feel like you're going to need more padding. That's what we use. We use blankets. There's also, studios usually have blocks, straps, and other props to help extend your limbs, to make your limbs longer, because you may not be that flexible. And your teacher will be able to show you how to use those depending on the class that they're teaching. So if you're doing a home practice and you're taking it from, a video, I suggest finding somebody that you like to listen to and who maybe is just doing a beginner's class or a yin or restorative class. Those are going to be easy to start with. And if you're looking for something more active, then I would just do beginners, hatha, or you might want to do like a vinyasa style class, or even Ashtanga, if that's something you're looking for to build muscle and overall body strength and some cardio. Do you need to be skinny to do yoga? No. I am obviously pretty thick, and I do yoga every day. We have to make adjustments for our bodies, and that's okay, because not everybody is going to be the same shape, but it still benefits my body the same. Not the same. It still benefits my body in the way that I need it to. Be careful and maybe learn what your pain tolerances are. So that's something else that you need to know, is distinguishing between bad pain and good pain. So you might get like a soreness because you're tight, but if you're getting like this acute sharp pain, you might want to back off a little bit from the pose or ask your teacher, is there something else I can do because this is hurting me? Don't be afraid to speak up during a class. Let's see, what else? The breath. So the breath is very important. Sometimes a teacher will talk about it and sometimes a teacher won't. And if you're a beginner, it's important to know that you can use your breath as a tool to help you release muscles or tightness. And it's important not to hold the breath throughout the practice either, because you'll catch yourself like, oh, I need to breathe. Hopefully a teacher is cueing you and you can kind of hear that. But if you can just remember an easy breathe in through the nose for a count of 4, hold for like 1 second, and then release for 4, a count of 4. That's the most basic breath that you can take. And yoga is usually in through the nose, out through the nose. If you can remember anything, just remember that. You can actually do that at home. At any time you're feeling stressed out, just take a breath. And you will practice that a lot during yoga. Let's talk about words that you don't understand. So yoga is based in a lot of Sanskrit words, and you're going to hear maybe sometimes the teachers use those words, calling the poses certain things that you don't understand. That might, if that doesn't click with you, I would just suggest maybe finding another teacher that is using the words that you understand, just to make the class easier for you to move through as you get used to doing yoga. What else? If you do a class at a gym, this is where I took my very first class and I freaking hated it. And I didn't understand what I was doing, and she was moving too fast through the poses. And so this is actually what started me on my journey to learning yoga, even though I didn't know it way back when. And so I suggest going to a yoga studio to take yoga, just because a lot of gyms they don't want the instructor to talk about the spiritual aspect of it. And that's just, it's like, a hand in a glove. They just go together. Meditation. Probably every yoga studio you're going to go to is going to do a meditation. And if you're not used to doing meditation, this can be uncomfortable for you, but It's a practice, just like the physical practice, so is the mental practice. So just hang in there, and you'll start to enjoy those peaceful moments when you're, able to have some time for yourself, some calm, and then you'll notice the benefits that you're having from all these things. Let's see. Hopefully I covered a lot of the tips you want. One more thing I'd like to say. I see this a lot in my, throughout my life. So if you want to start yoga and you want to get the full benefits, I suggest you at least go to a class twice a week. One time a week, that's like exercising one time a week. It's okay, but you're really not going to get the benefits of it. So I just suggest that you really dedicate yourself to a practice. And like I said, you're going to see all these benefits. You're going to be like, I can't believe we weren't taught this. We should have been taught this stuff as kids. We're taught calisthenics and exercise and movement, but I think even that's gone away. I haven't been in schools, like public schools, in a long time, but from what I hear, it's not a huge deal anymore, and it's affecting our children. If you have any more questions, I kind of did this video. As you notice, I'm in a hotel. I travel for work, and I kind of did this video on the fly because I thought it would be important information to put out. And I have other videos that I've actually planned out and talked about. I do a lot of other things like tarot card readings, and not so much I'm reading for you. I do that, but I'm really interested in teaching you guys how to use cards for yourself. I'm interested in teaching you about yoga and all the things yoga. I'm interested in teaching you about sound healing and all the benefits that can have of the vibration on the physical body. Teaching you about chakras. I have a whole host of things. So if you are into that and you like my videos, please share this with people that you know. I'm trying to get this going and get the information out. That's really my main goal, is just to get the information to people who are not near a studio, who may want to learn how to be a yoga teacher in their community that's way out in the, BFE, or bring these practices to their community. Obviously, I'm one person and I can't reach everybody physically, but with the power of technology, I'm able to communicate with you guys this way. So if you want more information, I am at www.springtxyoga.com. I'm on all those social medias. I'm the Hopeful Spirit on Instagram and Facebook. I'm Hope Maxwell, and I am always available to talk. So thank you for watching. I appreciate the support, and namaste. Until next time.